Hey, what's going on, Noles Nation? CJ Wilson here with DoakTalk. Of course, I am your host. I want to go ahead and recap this Virginia loss, UVA loss. I want to give you guys my thoughts. I guess you could say offense, defense, all together. Some of the things I felt like went wrong. Well, pretty much everything that could have possibly went wrong, absolutely went wrong within the game. We ended up going to two overtimes with the Virginia Cavaliers. Now you guys filter in a little bit further, but go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I know a lot of you guys are watching via Twitter. Go ahead and move over to the YouTube portion if you would like. Reason being, you guys know how these lives typically go. I'm going to get into my spiel in regards to my thoughts on the game and what what stood out to me in that type of deal. And also want to hear from you guys, the call-in portion, right? You guys know that's one of my favorite, and that is not one of it is my favorite part of the show is when we have the conversations and talk with you guys. So come on over to the actual YouTube so you can call in. We have the link in the comment section if you guys do want to join the show. And also, if you guys have a question specifically that you guys want to answer, as you guys know, I'm in the comment section, but not as often as not a lot basically, and those comments do kind of go fast. If you guys want your comment read specifically and you want if you want those comments read specifically versus not, getting on and having a conversation on DoakTalk and being live and that type of deal, you can do the super chat. Go ahead and use that super chat, and we'll get all super chats answered accordingly, 100%. I also got a treat for you guys in regards to the Miami game. I know people are pissed off in regards to loss, and rightfully so. But we got to move on after this and get ready for the Miami game. And I have a giveaway for the Miami game if you guys want to enter. 2-ticket giveaway opportunity for you guys. So if you want to enter the giveaway, we will be covering that a little bit in the show as well. I could have sworn, where's my download? All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, so as you guys know, we ended up losing 46 to 38 in double overtime to Virginia. I'm going to pretty much kind of give you my take on offense and defense and then kind of go from there. Of course, one side of the ball is definitely going to take a lot longer than the other one, as the defense was a major letdown within this game. But 46 to 38, Virginia ended up, I think we outgained, which is crazy, outgained Virginia 516 to 440. We outrushed and outpassed Virginia. They were 7 for 13 on third downs, 2 for 2 on fourth downs. Guess I'm going to start with the offense and what stood out to me, some of the good things I saw on offense and some of the things I feel like we could have did better. Defense, we'll get to that in a second. All right, guys, from the offensive standpoint, we did really good offensively, in my opinion. I like the game plan. I like what we did. There were certain things that stood out to me. I guess I get to the good part of it first and then get to the bad part of what I saw of the offense. Good part, the run game. I like what we did with the run game. We were able to establish the line of scrimmage and pretty much dominate Virginia up front and run the football. We had really good success running the football, from quarterbacks to multiple running backs, Cromar, Sawchuck, and that type of deal. Deuce Robinson, man, which we already knew. And coming to the season, we said he was going to be receiver one and have receiver one type of games, and he showed it 100% against Virginia, man. Deuce was a man against boys. The hype we had in preseason in regards to Deuce doesn't do it any justice. I think he's that good. I think he's a more athletic, a better receiver than Johnny Wilson. Of course, I think he had 9 catches, 147 yards. Had that one touchdown drop that was called incomplete. Should have caught that pass cleanly. It was a damn good throw by Thomas Castellano. Should have caught that ball cleanly, but the refs ended up calling that an incomplete pass. In my opinion, I think it was a catch. I know people have different, varied opinions on that. He had 2 feet in bounds and had the fingertips on the ball. He had 9 catches, 147, and 1 touchdown. He had 2 feet in bounds with the fingertips on the ball, and he adjusted the ball. He had to pretty much had the ball like this on his fingertips, and he readjusted the ball just to gain control of it and tuck it away going out of bounds. In the NFL, that would have been the catch 100%. College is a little bit different. It was called a catch on the field, but if he catch it cleanly, and doesn't bobble that, we don't have this discussion. But in my opinion, that was a catch. And hell, even if we did score, have the catch or score the touchdown in that situation, we still have to, make the 2 point conversion, which is always tough due to UVA, which is ridiculous. I don't. There was a lot of home cooking going on too, man. The refs pretty much giving UVA the opportunity to not, I guess, not take delay a game or whatever, and get their 2 points or their offense back on the field for the 2 point try versus when they initially put the field goal unit out. That's crazy. I don't know how huge oversight on Virginia's side, Tony Elliott's side, to not know the second overtime you got to go for two. But usually a mistake like that is costly, but it didn't. The refs pretty much gave Virginia all the time they needed to get their unit on the field. They didn't start the play clock until the offense was actually on the field. Should have been a delay game. I mean, a lot of people was talking about, Virginia had a timeout to use. It didn't seem like they were going to call a timeout during that point. Like I said, Tony Elliott was really lost in that at that point in time and kind of blew that coaching situation a little bit. So they probably wouldn't even have called the timeout to begin with. But nonetheless, that fall on Virginia. Don't give them all the time in the world. But we ended up reducing them dropping the ball, and then we ended up losing 46-38. Like I said, I don't really have any issues with the offense. We had over 500 yards of offense, 516, and that's with just probably like three quarters, I guess you say three quarters in overtime of actual play, because Virginia pretty much kept the ball away from FSU for 14 minutes on two drives due to 28 plays, which is fucking nuts, to say the least. I guess some of the few things I didn't like. We in the game started off kind of clunky. The first drive, we had the pass interference against Deuce Robinson that stalled that drive, which I didn't agree with that call at all. It wasn't an actual pass interference, in my opinion. Barely even, I guess he extended his arms a little bit, but the defensive back barely even moved. It was a ticky tack call, and then we have the turnovers. That's the main thing. Turnovers, and it killed us. We had the Gavin Sawchuk fumble, and then we had the turnover, the interception by Tommy. And both of Tommy Castellano's interceptions were terrible play calls, in my opinion. Real bad play calls that shouldn't have been called in the first place. The first interception, rather, the second turnover was the interception by Thomas Castellano when he was trying to throw the screen pass to Squirrel White. We had two successful runs, and I don't even know why we even took Kasai Holmes out of the game at that point in time. Two successful runs with Kasai. I think he had 16 yards on both runs, and it was first and goal. Keep running the damn ball. Stop getting cute, man. Keep running the ball. The running game was effective. The offensive line was moving the pile. Keep running the ball. You don't throw the ball in that situation, in my opinion. So that play, and those are the only complaints I really got from the offense throughout the entire game. That play wasn't a good play. It wasn't a good play call at all. Ended up costing us. We move on to the fourth. I really didn't get this shit. It was third and two or whatever, and we had two downs in order to get the first. The first one was a 1 yard gain by Cromar. Run the fucking ball again. Run the ball again. I have no idea why we're thinking about passing the ball. Okay, and even if you do think about passing the ball, the play call was terrible. We had three tight ends on the field. And none of them are really pass catchers in a sense. I guess you could say Amari Williams, who was the go-to for that play. Was it Amari or was it Landon Thomas? One of those guys. I can't remember which one was the go-to for that play. But if you're going to, first of all, you shouldn't be throwing the ball in that situation. But if you're going to throw the ball in that situation, don't have three tight ends on the field. You pretty much gave, after that first read, if those guys didn't bite on the run, which Virginia did it, the play was dead in the water, and Thomas Castellano ended up throwing the costly pick. But I guess it wasn't too costly because FSU still ended up scoring before regulation. But those two plays inside of the red zone, right? Inside the red zone, we have two bad play calls that lead to turnovers. We can't do that. But overall, though, I think the offense played pretty well. I think Cromon needs more touches. He'll have a success on the first two downs, like first and second down, and then we'll take him out when it comes down to his third carry. He ended up having 12 carries on the game. He has to get more touches. Simply put, he has to get more touches. He was the most effective running back. He's one of the highest graded running backs in regards to PFF in the country, regardless of class. We have to get this kid more touches. I really didn't understand, 2 touches here or 2 snaps here rather than coming out of the game. I really don't understand our running back rotation, to be completely honest with you. We rotate a little too much for my liking. I know we got really good backs, and we rotate a little bit too much. And also, when guys have the hot hand, we kind of take them out. So it's no really rhythm or rhyme to Coach Yak's, I guess you could say, running back rotation. Because, like I said, Kasai Holmes had 2 carries for 32 yards, and he didn't touch the ball again. Touched the ball again within the game. Singleton had effective runs as well too. Overall, I think our running backs were good. I think we ran the ball with Thomas Castellano a little too much for my liking. He had 14 carries, which was second on the team. He shouldn't be getting that much carries. The running backs were effective. The running backs were doing their job. Ride Chroma, ride Salchuk, ride those guys. Give Kasaya more touches. Take away some of the design quarterback runs and give that to the actual running backs, in my opinion. Lawayne McCoy, he impressed me as well too. Had a big catch in the fourth quarter for that, I guess you could say, game tying drive. He's going to be a weapon. I think he could be a weapon for FSU moving forward, especially within the receiver rotation. We need that. Like I said, we have Deuce, of course, receiver one, Squirrel, and then Boggs are out. But we need another receiver to step up that we could count on to make plays in the clutch, and not just in the clutch, just period, make plays. And Lawayne looks to be that fourth receiver in the making as he is getting back from injury. He had the early season injury, played last week against Kent State, building on it against Virginia. Should be a full regular in a rotation for the remainder of the season. And shout out to Randy Pittman, man. He's a damn ball player. Had a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown. And that, I want to give flowers to Thomas. He was inconsistent in some throws, especially the we had that screen pass to, I want to say it was Sawchuck in overtime. That was a walk-in touchdown. Really great play call, real good setup. We just can't get the ball to him. But that play he threw to Randy at the end of regulation on that fourth down, oh man, it was beautiful. Beautiful dime, ended up getting hit as well. Threw it to only where Randy could make the catch, and of course Randy did what he did, and that's make plays. Big time playmaker for FSU. It was a welcome addition to have him back within the lineup as he got injured after the Bama game. He's one of our best players. Um, Jack of all trades, can pretty much do anything in any situation. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to be not necessarily interesting, but I'm excited to see what we do with Randy moving forward within the offense and what he can bring to the table. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it on offense. I like what I saw on offense. You give me 35 points in regular. If you give me 35 points in regulation, I mean, that's enough to win any damn game. And plus, we have over 500 yards of offense in pretty much 3 quarters. I'm cool with that. I don't have any complaints. We can nitpick on certain play calls. There's only 2 play calls, in my opinion, that weren't good, and that's and both of them were in the red zone, unfortunately. But that's the 4th and 1 with like 2 minutes and 30 seconds before he ended up throwing an interception, and then the 1st and goal when we had success running the football, we elected to pass the ball, and that ended up being an interception due to the defensive end getting free. But again, I'm cool with the offense like what they did. Knew they'd have success against the Virginia team from the offensive standpoint. All right, let's move on to this damn defense. Ooh, man, defense. I guess I'm gonna speak about the few things I did like within the defense, and kind of go from there. Jabril Rawls, he's a player. He's looking like the best. He's not looking like he's one of our best corners on the team. I think he may be the best corner on the team. Out of him and Jerry, played really well. Had the interception and made not a few, a bunch of tackles, big tackles as well. He's a physical hitter too. He doesn't mind getting in the mix and making plays. Quintarius Jones actually played really good as well. I know he's been struggling early person of the season, kind of adjusting from that man coverage defense that we see all the time, man press coverage with Adam Fuller, to playing off and dropping a reading zone and backpedaling with this Tony White defense. Made a really good play in zone coverage on one of the interceptions that Elijah Herring caught. He was real patient, dropped in the zone, used zone eyes, was looking, and the receiver that Chandler was trying to throw the ball to came from the opposite side of the field. So he was very patient in letting the play develop and not panicking. Drop, backpedal back in his drop, was able to look around and locate the receiver and make a pass breakup that ended up being an interception by Elijah Moore. He had a few other good plays, but Quindarius Jones had a really good game. I like what I saw out of him. That's good to see him work to get better week to week. The defensive backs in general, man, had a hell of a damn game. Aside from Earl Little, who played pretty poorly, but the defensive backs in general had a really great game. Shout out to Edwin Joseph. It was, oh my gosh, that scramble drill pick he had on Moore's was freaking textbook, man. It was really it was teach tech. I'm 100% sure Tony White is going to show that play over and over and over within the film session for this game as a positive in regards to how it should be. The scramble drill was perfect. He was pretty much inside the receiver's hip, step for step, and ended up making a play on the ball. Scramble drill is one of the hardest. It's one of the toughest things to cover from a defensive back standpoint because you're guarding the receiver for X amount of seconds. But he made it perfectly and broke on the ball and made a play on it. Really good job. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the good stuff in the defense. Let's get into the bad. Our top three tacklers on defense was Edwin Joseph. No, hold on, go to it one more time just to be 100% sure. All three of our safeties were the top three tacklers on defense. No, I'm sorry. The top three tacklers on defense was Earl Little, Jabril Rawls, and Shaheem Brown. That's not good football. That's not good football. If you have three defensive backs within your top three tacklers on defense, you could pretty much guess without looking at the stats that they had a lot of success running the football, and Virginia did just that. Um, we had no answer for them offensively. They had 440 yards. They had a touchdown drive, but they ran the ball 11 straight times. It's un, it's crazy to even think about. 11 straight times they ran the football, and that drive ended with a touchdown. And Tony White, Pot Roast, and all those guys, they pride themselves on stopping the run. Going back to Nebraska, even if you listen to his early press conferences during fall camp at FSU and spring practice, he talks about stopping the run. Doesn't care about pass rush and all that type of deal. You have to earn your right to pass rush by stopping the run. And we didn't do that. And the interesting, I guess the more disappointing part of it is the lack of adjustments we saw as well, too, from the defensive staff. Against Bama, after Bama had success running the football on that opening drive, we made some adjustments, started putting four down linemen and things like that, and started using other guys within the blitz package as well. We didn't do that against Virginia. We stayed true to the three down linemen and pretty much let them eat our lunch up front. So it was a failure from the defensive staff, in my opinion. And of course, the players, they didn't play up the part as well. I think the defensive line kind of got exposed, man, especially within that middle. James Williams, he wasn't good at all within the game. Constantly gave up the edge. Just isn't athletic on the edge as well, too, as far as making plays and running. He's not really doing anything as far as pass rushing. We didn't get any type of pressure on Morris, which is ridiculous. And also the little bit of pressure we did get, Ashland Barker had a blitz and I think he had a sack on that blitz. We brought blitzes from the safety position, cornerback position, linebacker position. The times we did it, we had success. Why didn't we do it more often? I have no clue because those guys was pretty much picking us apart, especially within the middle of the defense. Those linebackers, man, they really had a rough day. Really had a rough day. Zone coverage and things like that. Um, shit, man, that defense was bad. It was bad. Ended up going 7 for 13. Virginia went 7 for 13 on third downs, 2 for 2 on fourth downs. 20. These two drives, they had 28 plays, and both of those drives ended up in touchdowns. Those two drives took up 14 minutes of game clock. 14 minutes. That's a whole quarter. The defense was on the field for a whole quarter and could not get off the field. A whole quarter. The offense was sidelined for pretty much a whole quarter within the second half. Um, we just got bullied up front, man. And we're talking about a Virginia offensive line that was nicked up. Starting center did not play. Then they had another offensive lineman, starting offensive lineman that was out as well. We're talking about their B team, I guess you could say. Well, I won't say the full B team, but a lot of the key guys weren't playing within that game, and they still imposed their will. Daryl Jackson, you got to step up, brother. I know we ask, and I really don't like this too because I don't think we have the guys, but we ask a lot from you from the nose position to pretty much be consistent every damn snap, which is a lot. I get it, but bro, it's the same stuff we've been talking about for 2 years, right? You're popping straight up, you're being too high, not being low, not using your leverage. I mean, no offensive lineman should put hands on Daryl Jackson at all. Reason being, he has extremely long arms, extremely long arms. He's a strong football player as well. If he uses his hands and uses his leverage, it should be separation between him and every damn offensive lineman every time, and he could pretty much dictate and control the offensive lineman. But he doesn't play with leverage, doesn't use his hands, makes himself easily accessible in regards to being blocked, and then we have the results that we have. But it's like if you look at these damn box, there's no way that you outgain another team, outrush them and outpass them, have the same amount of turnovers as well, and you have the results that you have. But again, if you have 15 damn, they had more first downs than us, and that's a reflection of the number of plays they ran. But if you have 28 play drive, two 28, a 28 play, I guess you could say two plays that, or two drives rather, that went 28 plays, 14 minutes, you have that result. I'm still baffled that 14 minutes in the second half, the offense wasn't able to be on the field due to the defensive inability to get off the field. But I really like my secondary. We knew coming into the game that was the strength of the defense, and they showed as they got three interceptions on Moore's. He gave us opportunities. He definitely gave us opportunities to make plays. Earl Little, he had a terrible game. Even though he led the team in tackles, he could have had a lot more. Terrible game. He had a passing, I'm sorry, not a pass interference, defensive personal foul, which I thought was a little bit ticky tacky, but is the play is over. There's no need to do that in that situation. That was a third down where Virginia would have ended up punting, ended up extending the drive for 15 more yards. They scored a touchdown on that drive. Couldn't get off the field due to that. He made a hell of a play of reading the run, beating the running back probably 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. Came with great force on the contact, but he didn't freaking wrap up. I don't know what the hell. And that's the thing too. Like Earl throws his body around like he's a missile. Don't get it twisted. He's a heat seeking missile along the lines of a Lamarcus Jordan when being physical and throwing your body around and that type of deal. But at the same time, you got to understand, Earl, you're 190 soaking wet. No matter how hard you're coming down and throwing your body around, you have solid running backs that are good running backs that are 200, 210, 215, 220, that type of deal, strong lower body. You coming with all your force and throwing your shoulder at them, is it going to do it? You're going to have a stalemate as far as the hit, but after that hit, they're still moving their feet and they're running, they're continuing to run. And that's exactly what happened. You have to wrap up. You have to wrap up. And yeah, you got to look at that film, man, and have a come to Jesus moment as well. Hope Tony White and those guys, even Norvell, have a lot of humbling within that film session, which I think it will be. Another something else I wanted to point out. So I think it was two plays that Virginia had that is the camera still we're still good with the camera. Okay. All right, two plays that stood out for the Virginia game that pretty much were game changing plays. That Earl play that I was just talking about, and that Jerry Wilson play to which he went for the pick, broke on the ball like a millisecond late, and that ended up being like a 30 to 35 yard play for Virginia. Going into halftime versus ending the half could be a pick six or at worst a pass breakup. So, like I said, Jerry Wilson was a millisecond late in his break. and we have a situation like that, you cannot go for the interception of the ball with your shorthand. And if you guys don't know what shorthand versus longhand is, I guess I kind of demonstrated for you right here. If the ball is being thrown over here, my arm is shorter than if I extend my arm this way and try to break the ball up that way. It's called the shorthand versus the long arm versus short arm. And if Jerry would have went with his long arm and secured the tackle with his right arm, broke the pass up and secured the tackle, even if you miss the pass breakup and the receiver catches it, you still have that offhand, the short arm rather, that you secure the tackle with. So you want to secure and break up that way. Jerry on the opposite end, well, rather than doing that, Jerry went with the shorthand trying to make a play, and once you do that and the receiver catches the ball going back at you behind you this way, he's out the gate because you don't have no leverage to make the tackle, right? And that's exactly what happened. And then even after that, we didn't try to make the damn tackle. We tried to force a fumble within a situation where forcing a fumble wasn't warranted at all, right? We got to know when to pick our spots, when to try to strip the ball and that type of deal. And us trying to strip the ball there instead of securing the tackle and making the tackle, let they run again another 15 yards down the field. If we stop Virginia before that halftime, before scoring before halftime, it's no question in my mind that we win that game and we win it convincingly. I think at that point FSU was kind of trending to be a double digit favorite. Well, not double digit favorite, but to win that game by double digits due to how the game was going. We scored 21 unanswered points. You try to go into halftime and get the ball back at halftime, but instead of making that play and stopping the Virginia Cavaliers from scoring and going into halftime, that turned into a touchdown. So little shit like that can be the difference maker, man. That and defensive back coaches preach all the time: long arm versus short arm. That long arm, short arm technique is can be vital in certain situations. Football is a game of inches, and it's literally inches between your short arm, and crossing over the body with your long arm, and still being able to secure the tackle with that off arm. And that was the situation with Jerry. So those two plays, the Jerry Wilson would be pick six or pass breakup at the very least, and Earl Little not wrapping up with the running back cost FSU 14 points. And we can't have that at all. But that's pretty much all I got as far as my takes on the game. And defense really has to wake up, especially the run defense. And I don't know how we do get Kevin Wynn back. Hopefully this upcoming week against Miami, which is going to be a plus within the run game, stopping the run, 100% plus. And it's crazy that we even I don't even that's it's a I guess you could say it's a twofold lens in regards to this in how I look at this. One, I think Wynn can be very good. He's a very good freshman. We heard a lot of good things about him, even though we haven't seen him play for sure yet. He's physical and big body. He can help out. On the flip end, we shouldn't be counting on true freshmen to be key vital depth pieces for FSU. Even though some of these guys are capable, we're throwing too much on these guys in the fire to make plays. We got both of the twins, Win. All three of these guys are pretty much really counted on to be focal pieces of the defensive line, and that shows the lack of recruiting and the lack of depth that we've been suffering over the years that we got to correct, especially playing this defense. Tony White defense, three-man front, you got to have dogs up front. You have to have dogs up front. And clearly, we haven't had dogs up front, and Virginia exposed that by not having those big-time players up front. So yeah, we do get Win back, which is definitely going to be vital. But we know what Miami wants to do. I don't think Miami offense is as good as Virginia's um, overall, but their offensive line is better than Virginia's, and their running game is better than. I think their running backs are better than Virginia, and clearly those are our biggest issue against Virginia, stopping the run. Period. Right. So we're going to have our work cut out for us in regards to trying to stop Miami's rushing attack. If Miami could just lay on us and run the football, that's exactly what they're going to do and be successful at it. And we pretty much put bad tape on film for Miami to try to exploit that. And hell, even going back to the Kent State game, there was a couple runs that they gashed us a little bit, even though the total yardage didn't reflect it. If you look at those plays, and Tony White spoke about it, those plays pretty much came back to bite us in the Virginia game. So we got a few games of putting bad tape on film in regards to stopping the run. The Miami Hurricanes are definitely going to try to exploit that. So if we could do a good job of pinching down Miami and trying to stop the run, I like our chances because I think our offense is going to score. Our offense is pretty damn good. The offense is going to score pretty much on anybody. 500 yards, 35 points. Even though I don't think Virginia defense is good, we still pretty much was off the field for an entire quarter. All right, guys, make sure you guys also hit that like button and subscribe to the channel as well. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button and subscribe to the DoakTalk community. There's a lot of people in here. If you're viewing on X, come on over to the YouTube and hang out. It's a party going on in the comments, and hit that like button. It takes 2 seconds of your time, and subscribe to the DoakTalk community if you haven't already. Yeah, just speaking about the linebackers real quick, then we'll go ahead and get some callers on. The linebackers, man, they were non-existent, man. They were not good at all. And I've been saying it for a while. I do think, from an athletics standpoint, I think CJ Cryer has some limitations. Yes, he's a very smart player, and he's typically in the right position 9 times out of 10, most times than not. But you got to have certain athletic ability and certain athletic traits to make those tackles, to make those plays. And I just don't think he, from an athletic standpoint, Cryer doesn't have it. All right, let's go ahead and get some callers in. Who do we got up first? Calvin, what's good? Talk to me, bro.
Hey, buddy, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Good, man. Yeah, appreciate what you do, man. I love listening to you, your insight and everything. You're doing a great job, buddy. Keep it up. Also,
Thanks for the
I
support.
think the whole before the half and after the half is really a giant difference. Us not getting that pick six, not going for the tackle, letting them score quickly, and then us coming out kind of flat and not scoring.
Yeah.
I think was huge. We got all the momentum back after going down 14, scored 21 straight, and then let them come down and score. Okay, whatever. Then you don't come out and you're kind of Manila. Running backs were running kind of soft right there. There was no urgency. You got the momentum, but and then kicking that field goal. Man, I was yelling at my TV. I was like, we got a freshman here, I guess redshirt freshman kicking a long field goal. And that I put that on Mike Norvell. If you're going to be CO coach, you got to know the situations. You could clearly see your defense is having trouble. They're not stopping them. 3 points isn't going to do anything for you. You know, I mean, hindsight's whatever. If they would have hit it, we probably would have won,
Yeah.
now thinking about it. But, I didn't like that at the time because, you've been aggressive all year. And I think it's, we've been going for those at that position there.
What was
So
I can't recall what was the downage on that fourth down for us to
I think it
take?
was like 4th and 5,
Okay.
maybe 4th and 5 from there. So, I mean, it was kind of intermediate right there, but we go for that. That's kind of Mike Norvell's deal.
Yeah.
And I think seeing that, if you're going to be the CEO coach, you got to help you see your defense is struggling. That's football. Sometimes you just don't have it. But if your offense is moving at will, and I don't even want to get into that. I love gut and I've loved the offense. I don't even want to even talk about when we ran all the way down there and then we throw that cute pass, and that's a crazy play the guy makes. But hey, you even allowed him to make it. And if you look at that play was about to get blown up too.
Yeah, Squirrel would have made that
The
play.
scroll was getting killed,
Yeah.
and they were right there. They could have picked that ball too.
Mhm.
So, I mean, there was 2 guys right there. So I just didn't, that one was crazy. And, I think, I still like Tony White. I mean, I love Tony White. I think he's going to be fantastic. I still think, he's kind of playing with a lot of guys that aren't his scheme yet, and he's trying to make some stuff work. And, I think the Deshier twins are fantastic. Daryl Jackson, man, he looks amazing, and sometimes he flashes, but he still kind of, hasn't, he just hasn't taken that next step to me.
No, I agree. I think he's pretty much the same player as he was last year in regards
Yeah.
to he'll have flashes, but he's not being consistently the dominant player that we need. And that was something that Tony White, Pot Roast, and guys were kind of pushing in the spring, trying to get out of him. Of course, it carried over the fall camp, but it just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. And I was a little surprised. And I've seen it through a few games. If you looked at every 3rd down they basically ran that same play. They're running 2 guys across the middle, running a pick basically off each other, and one guy's going to run open. We had nobody sitting there. And it was the same exact play on every 3rd and 5, 6, 7. They ran the same exact cross. And Malachi Tony, if you watch those Miami games, that's all they do with that kid.
Yeah.
So that worries me right there because they were just running a lot of cross stuff with him. And he's explosive. He's better than anybody that Miami or that Virginia has at receiver, I think, at that short intermediate stuff.
Yeah, he's a slot merchant, right? What they call it. And I
Yeah.
think he's upgraded Restrepo from an athletic standpoint in that regard. Um, and that was one of our issues on Friday was that intermediate area, especially in the middle of the field. So we definitely have to address that. But if we address that, I think we did the game plan was against Virginia because they've been very explosive downfield. Don't let them beat you downfield. Let them pretty much take everything underneath and have those slow, methodical drives and that type of deal. But the bad side about it, they actually had those slow, methodical drives. We weren't able to get off the field. So I do agree. We gotta make some adjustments. 100% sure because Miami could expose. I'm not really concerned about them throwing the ball down the field. I am concerned about that intermediate situation with Tony, but the majority, what my real concern is, their offensive line and their run game.
No doubt, no doubt. And I think we're definitely going to have to find some ways to get pressure because if you watch Carson Beck when he gets bad is when he's pressured. So
Yeah,
you're going to have to bring extra guys and hope your defensive back, which is I think is probably our strongest part on defense. You
absolutely.
know, let them. They're going to have to do their thing, and you're going to have to bring some guys because unfortunately we're just not very athletic on our ends right now. And I think Amari Williams, they've got to get him over to that side because they're not even using him really on offense. I mean, if you
Yeah,
look at his body, he looks, and if he can run, I
he
mean, James Williams, I don't know what he.
I agree with you
I,
100% there. I think I tweeted this out. Like I don't think Amari Williams should play another snap on offense, like at all. His focus should be solely on defense. Of course, I think his defensive player, a defensive end rather, has a higher chance to affect the game, in my opinion, what they can bring to the table versus a tight end. If you're not that elite tight end, in my opinion, we know we have what we have in Randy Pittman as a tight
Randy
end.
Pittman.
So exactly, you have your guy in Randy Pittman at tight end. So all factors should be on trying to fix the run and get pass rush because we got no pass rush on Virginia at all. And James Williams hasn't been effective. So those snaps, in my opinion, should be going to Amari Williams. He should be focusing solely on defense and getting developed and better on defense. And one last thing to your in regards to your point, which we did against Alabama, we brought pressure in different ways to get after Ty Simpson. This game against Virginia, we didn't do that at all. So the few times we did do it, Ashland Barker, a few others, we had success and was able to get to the quarterback. If we could do that against Miami, I agree. If we can make Beck uncomfortable and pressure him, he's not very mobile. He doesn't move very well. If we could do that, he he'll give it up. He'll give you opportunities to make interceptions on the ball. We've seen it before. Hell, Florida pretty much showed that the last 2 years with going back from Georgia and even this year with Miami. If you're aggressive and get pressure on him, make him uncomfortable, he'll give the ball up and throw some interceptions.
Yeah. I'd say, I'll leave you with this. So, the one thing I say about Gus, and it usually happens to us, as a Virginia fan, you had to be like, you got to be kidding me. You got a tight end throwing a jump pass for a touchdown. That's something that would happen to Florida State in the past, or even this year, kind of like that interception. We'd be like, only that would happen to us.
To us, right?
But I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. We ran a jump pass with a tight end. I like Randy Pittman, man. He's a football player, man. He reminded me of a guy I played with in high school that you could just do anything. And here he is throwing a touchdown pass. But I'll let you go, buddy. Thank you, man.
Appreciate you joining, man. Real good
All right,
conversation.
buddy.
Yeah, to that point, man, Randy Pittman is an absolute football player, 100%. And that play call by Gus was great too. We talk about setting up plays, right? He set up that play with the run for Randy Pittman on I want to say the first touchdown, and then he followed it up with the jump pass. Before we get into our next caller, want to get this little read off, Harlan. You could go ahead and get the link together. I know we're talking about Virginia game and things like that, but we do play the Miami Hurricanes this upcoming year. And we do have a situation with the Chief Brief where you guys could possibly win some tickets to this game. So we have the link right here. We're going ahead and throw it up. Harlan, you could highlight the link as well once you get it going. But the Chief Brief is trying to look out for you guys, man. They're giving away 4 tickets to the Miami game. 4 tickets to the Miami game. 2 tickets go to a lucky free subscriber of the Chief Brief. So go ahead and hit that link and subscribe to the Chief Brief. They bring out a lot of information in regards to FSU. And if you subscribe to their link, you guys can win 2 free tickets. Also, we're giving away 2 tickets as well in regards to a $50 pool, a minimum $50 pool. So 2 tickets are going to a pool of folks of 50 who enter for a minimum of $50. You can enter multiple times if you want to. The value of the tickets is over $800. So someone's going to be very damn happy with these tickets. You could possibly put in $50 to get $800 return for these Miami game tickets. As you guys know, the tickets online are going for a healthy penny. If you guys head over, hit that link, and use the promo code DoakTalk, promo code DoakTalk at checkout, you'll get $5 off of that $50 purchase. So for $45, rather, you could possibly win $800 in value in regards to tickets for the Miami game. We have a night game at Doak Camel Stadium. It's going to be electric atmosphere to say the least. You guys thought that Alabama and Georgia game last night was live. From the Georgia standpoint, Doak Camel Stadium is going to be on 10 for this Miami game, especially the night game. So again, hit that link if you guys want to enter a chance to win 2 tickets to the Miami game. $50 entry. Use the promo code DoakTalk. Get yourself $5 off. $45. You could be hanging good in Doak Camel Stadium for a win against the Miami Hurricanes. So go ahead and hit that link. $5 off for the Doak Talk. All right, let's go ahead and get up to the next caller. What we got?
Yo, what's good, CJ?
My brother, how you doing, bro?
First, I'm good, baby. But first off, the Tiny Hat Gang is back on Dope Talk, baby. How's everybody doing? Shout out to CJ. Shout out to Harlan. That's my dog right there. And shout out to the real FSU fans out here. Before I get into what I actually saw at the game here, let me talk to somebody in the chat. William Green. Mr. Green, whatever your name is, bruh. Mike Norvell exposed as frauds. Gus exposed as a fraud. Defense is soft as last year. Man, if you don't shut your hurricane loving ass the hell up, nobody want to hear nothing out of you. Your team ain't done nothing this season worth it. We're talking about a damn thing. I could tell that you ain't nothing but a damn Hurricanes fan. Like, get out the chat. And if you don't want to get out the chat, then you can come meet me right over here at Sunrise Liquors, and we can go ahead and handle this real quick, 1-on-1, mano e mano, FSU versus Miami style, and I'll show you who is exposed as a fraud. Nobody want to hear nothing out of you today. Anyway, back to the squad. All right. I hear what you're saying. I hear what everybody's saying. I went back, I had to go put on my tiny hat FBI meta glasses, and I was in the lab all night. I was in the lab. I'm on my fourth rewatch of this game here, and I saw a lot that I like. I really don't hang any of this on the offense at all. I think Gus did what he needed to do. He put more things on film than he wanted to, but I think that he, outside of a couple untimely plays and a couple of personnel decisions, which I know he ain't gonna make as an OC, I thought Gus did well. I thought the offense was fine. I really don't have nothing to say about the offense at all. In terms of the defense, because I went back and watched multiple times on what the defensive side of the ball was doing. That's where we got the issue. I'm not really gonna talk about our DBs too much. Outside of Zero, Zero gonna have a long night when it a long day when it come to that film room. Because all they're gonna do is talk about how he was in coverage. They're gonna talk about how he over pursued quite a few plays. They're gonna talk about how he's not wrapping up. And if I'm Tony White, I have everybody in that linebacking core and in that DB room, specifically Zero, doing nothing but tackling drills for the first 2 days of practice this week. That's all you doing. You running out there, they got the dummies up, and you are gonna run, and they gonna show you how to tackle. And then that's the biggest issue that I saw there. But that was the issue with them at least. This loss came specifically on one position group and one position group only, and that's the linebacking core. When you go back and you watch this game, the D tackles, they getting stood up, they getting double teamed. Yes, that is a problem. I'm not. That's the second part. But we starting top down. The linebacking core did not fill them holes. They did not do their run fits properly. That's why you had so many tackles by our DBs, like you said earlier. But our linebackers were non-existent. And then when we find everybody's talking about, oh, the scheme, the scheme, the scheme. Well, a lot of y'all who talking about scheme don't even know how to spell the damn word, let alone tell what a football scheme is supposed to be. Go back and watch the game. Tony White had them boys in position. Tony White had them boys where they needed to be. But Tony White can't get out there and tackle somebody. Tony White can't get out there and make a play. Tony White is not the one. He can set up the scheme and have them boys in position to fill the holes. But then when the running back gets to the point of attack, you not pushing forward. You getting hit. You catching tackles. See, that's something that they taught me when I played ball back in high school. My coach used to always say, "Don't catch a tackle. All right, you have to make a tackle. Don't catch that." And for y'all who again don't even know who've never played football before, when you catch a tackle is where you run to the spot, and when the guy comes, he hits you, and you do everything you can to try to pull him down. Well, when you got big backs like that, and big backs that we gonna see this coming weekend, you can't let them hit you. You got to get there and hit them.
You
You
have to be
have to be
aggressive.
Right. You got to be the spearhead and let the rest of them come through and finish that up for you if you can't finish it yourself. Well, that's what we saw all night. When they had that long 11, 12 play drive where they ran the ball after, I think it was when he hurt his hand or whatever it
Yep.
was. When they had that, go and watch and see what our linebackers are doing. They didn't call, Virginia didn't call anything spectacular. Virginia didn't do anything that we have not seen. Virginia didn't do anything that we didn't do to Alabama. They lined up man on man, hat on hat, and they said our guys are going to out physical and that our guys are going to have better contact than your guys. And that's exactly what Virginia did. They didn't call no crazy end arounds. They didn't use no motions that threw us off. They didn't do anything like that at all. Them boys lined up and they ran simple stretch outside and inside zone over and over and over. And they pulled a Marshawn Lynch on us and they ran through a motherfucker face. That's what they did. And our guys did not do anything to stop it. So if I'm looking at anybody that I'm going to point to overall and say that this is their issue, it ain't the DC, it ain't the offense, it ain't TC either. It is 100% on this linebacking core. And then the second group that I'm talking about, and it ain't even a group, it's one player in particular, and that's number 10. I don't like to even say names. I don't even like to say names when you sorry out there. Your name don't even deserve to get called out of the Tiny Hat CEO's lips. You might as well be a worker in the warehouse that's just unloading the trucks. You don't even get to be on the commercials out here. Number 10 should not see my field unless it is third down and 8 or longer. Shouldn't see my field unless it's third and 8 or longer. That is not a run stuffing DN. He can't set an edge. He don't even know what an edge look like. This boy, the only edges that he know is a big razor. That's the only thing he know out here. All right, that's it. He gonna shave his face because that ain't make no damn sense. Every single play that they run, when Virginia lined up, they said, "What 10 at?" Oh, okay, yeah, we like that right there. They was scoping 10 out like a bad bitch sitting at the bar at the club. That's what they was doing. They was like, "Oh yeah, that's a sweet one right there. Let me go on over there and say what's up." Them boys had plenty of time to fix their mustache, make sure they lineup was tight, straighten their tie up, and stroll right on over there to
And
that
for
side of
gum
the
in their mouth,
line.
the gum in their mouth and all, huh?
I'm telling you, boy, they had to make sure they hit it with that Banaka spray like this was 1988. Yeah, let me go on over there and say what's up to this one. That's what they did to number 10 all night. He didn't know what the hell was going on. And then when he was in position to make the play, guess what he did? He got moved off his spot. They picked him up and threw his ass out the club like he was Jazz and they were Uncle Phil. Just slung him right on up out the door. It was terrible. And I'm putting it squarely on that. If we can't set an edge properly, then any team we play is going, oh, we can just run to that side. That's it. I don't need 10 on my field unless it is third and long, and he better show me something even in those positions, because I think we need to go ahead and start talking about swapping him out for something completely different. I don't like the way they did that at all. I didn't see the trigger from my linebackers. I didn't see the trigger from my DNs doing what they needed to do. That boy sat back there and had plenty of time to get the ball off. But then when we talk about scheme, everybody wants to hype up the fact that we got three interceptions, and those the interceptions that we got were nice coverage interceptions. Them boys made plays when they were there to be made. But I saw a lot of hero ball out there by specific players because they realized, okay, some of these cats are not going to get pressure. I got to make a play back here, and they got themselves out of position. I didn't like that at all. And I think the one play that really, the one area of the game that really got me was when we went up 21-14, they get the ball, and they went right down the field, and they scored right before half. If you go back and you look at that, that was when we busted, we didn't tackle Buddy properly. I think that was when I think if I'm not mistaken, that's when Q tried to intercept the ball and he tipped it up in the air. I think that was on that sequence when he got that. Was that before the half or was that right after the half?
Um, that was right. That was before the half. That's when
Yeah,
Elijah Moore called it. But
yeah,
the tip, well, that's when Jerry Wilson tried to break one, and he
that one.
ended up. Yep.
Yeah, that one. And so, and even on that play, the issue, I don't have an issue with him tipping the ball. I mean, that was just a fluke. When you tip a ball, it can either go up, it can bounce out the way, it's whatever. The issue on that play is if you go back and you watch it, after he catches the
He's
ball and
trying to
he's
strip
running
the fucking
downfield,
ball, bro. Like you're not in position for that.
bruh, it wasn't even. That's before we even get to that. That's the crazy part because when he turns around and he running, Zero comes right up,
Yeah.
squares up with him, and over pursues, and he
Mhm.
ends up by the sideline. And then when they finally get over the gang tackle, buddy, they don't even try to go for the legs or pull him down. They start trying to pull the ball, and he got another 7 yards after that.
You
Seven
talking about a
yards.
play that should have been at the very least a pass breakup, Could
Yep.
have been a pick six, but at the very least, a pass break would have been a 35-yard game.
Exactly, exactly, and that's what happened all night long. All night long, their running back, that boy, that big little bastard was out there doing his damn thing, and I'm like, this dude is he's not all that. Like he's not all that. We're at the point of attack, and that boy did exactly what I would want one of my running backs to do. He gonna run hard. He gonna run, get them 4 yards, and fall forward to get another one. Get 3 yards, fall forward to get another one. And for us to outgain them in the run game, in the pass game, or just overall and still lose the game the way that we did, that right there shows me that not only should we have won this game, but it's a lot of little simple things that we can clean up. So for Mr. William Green in the chat out there talking reckless, I ain't see your team do it. All right, you think we put it on film? How you gonna beat Florida State? And name one team in the country that you gonna play against that's not gonna tackle properly, that you not gonna beat. So you ain't said nothing in this chat, sir. I'm gonna need you to be better than that. I think that our squad has what it takes to get out there, and I think that them coaches are gonna get right in their ear. Them boys should have been in their ear on the plane back home. Y'all boys shouldn't have even had no iPads. Y'all shouldn't have had no headphones. They should only get them water and peanuts on the way back over here. And if you got a peanut allergy, then we got EpiPens and we'll help bring you back to life because you wasn't alive out there on that field. I tell you that much. That's what I know. Them boys should have been watching nothing but film. And if I'm them coaches, you know what I'm doing? All week long, all I got hanging up everywhere is pictures of us decleating the Miami players going across the middle. I want pictures of us hitting hard, wrapping up, tackling. I want on all of my TV screens. I need what is that? Jamie when he grabbed old boy and just slung him to the ground. When we snatched their quarterback and pushed him to the ground like a little school child.
Yeah,
That's what I
Tony
want
Robinson.
everywhere. And the only other thing that they need to see is them getting blown up off the ball because they weren't wrapping up all week long. That's what I need to see. That's the only thing they need to see. Old school, this is what you need to do to win, and this is what you did to lose last week. That's it. That's it. So Florida State gonna be fine. I think the boys gonna come out and respond. Miami got to come line that shit up too, because everybody told me Bama was gonna run all over us, and we went out there and put belt to ass to that Bama shit. And everybody's talking about how Miami finna run all over us and do all of that. Well, Miami got to come up there and they got to come see us. They got to come see it. They got to line up and put that on. They got to line up and put on their chin straps and get out there on the field and get it done. Because I know I saw Mr. I ain't got no hairline. I'm 20 something odd years old, but my hair looked like Fred Sanford out here. They little DN that they want to talk about all the time. Big Bane out here was talking wild reckless on the timeline. It ain't the fans that's just talking reckless. It's the players out here talking reckless.
Oh, they
Oh, y'all
talking
talk.
crahy. Yeah, I
Oh,
seen that
you
too.
see
Yeah,
this, right? Oh yeah,
yeah,
oh yeah,
talking
y'all. Oh,
wild.
oh, the
Well,
players
feeling
got
real good,
mouth.
which I like it. But you better be able to back it up, man.
Better
Hey,
better be ready.
but real quick, though, now that you're speaking on the shout out, I got D-Rod, man. He had a comment for you, say, Tiny Head and CJ, my guys, 100. Tiny Head, stop all them damn excuses, my boy. Belt the ass and hard rock north. Mark, put him on the stretcher.
What excuses you heard me make, D-Rob? See this why I can't stand these Hurricanes ass fans, bro. What excuses did I make? Did I not say exactly what we did wrong? See, they don't even know the meaning of these words. That's why I said some people talking about scheme, they can't spell scheme. People out here talking about excuses, they don't even know the meaning of the damn word. I told you what my team did wrong. Can y'all tell me what y'all team do wrong? Because I damn sure know all y'all doing is walking around here pumping, beating your chest, talking about how great y'all are, this, that, and the third, when you beat a Notre Dame team that ain't worth the toilet paper that I used to wipe this morning. And y'all went out there and beat a Florida team that ain't worth the damn gum that got stuck on my shoe when I got out the car yesterday from getting my 12 pack when I went over to Sunrise Liquors. Well, Mr. William Green gonna come and try to find me. That's where I'm gonna be at. So I don't know what these Hurricanes fans talking about. Y'all team got one receiver. You got one receiver that can get separation. You think we ain't gonna be able to lock that up? Because I know your best receiver in the history of your program ain't ever done nothing against my squad. I tell you that much. And your receiver that you got now, your little true freshman, he run them same ugly ass whip routes. He run them same little ugly ass crosses. He ain't doing nothing downfield because y'all got one guy. Every other receiver that you gotta make circus catches. Like they OBJ out here diving with catching the ball with one hand and two hands. You know why they gotta do that? Because they can't get separation from nobody. Sorry ass Miami Hurricanes. Man, get your ass out of here, bro. Y'all ain't even in Miami. Y'all in Coral Gables. And they don't even let y'all over there. When game day went down there, how many black people you saw in the crowd on game day? They don't even let them in the city over there. Go sit down somewhere, bro. I want to hear nothing out of no Hurricanes fans talking reckless to me. What the hell is wrong with y'all? You can't even go over in that city. and can't even let alone get on that campus. And y'all, and the only reason y'all can get to the stadium is because they got the stadium over there in the hood, and they gentrifying y'all sorry asses up out of that neighborhoods right now. Anyway, go sit down somewhere. I ain't got time for your nonsense. My team is gonna be ready to go. I think them boys is gonna be on point. Gus finna have us lining that up and running it down their throats just like we did everybody else. Gus did enough to win. Gus did exactly what we needed him to do. We put up 30 plus points on that. The defense went out there, and even with the defense having all of them problems, we still had opportunities to win that game. We just didn't make them play. So that loss is on us, not to take nothing from Virginia, because Virginia lined up and did what they were supposed to do. They went out there with that elementary ass offense. They played like there was Herman Boone and the Remember the Titans TC Williams squad, and they ran them same three damn plays, and they went down the field over and over. And I didn't like the way that our players did not do what they needed to do at the point of attack. That's what happened. But Miami ain't gonna do that. Y'all gonna get cute like you always do, and we gonna bust y'all in the mouth when y'all think that things is sweet out here. Don't let it fool you. Please don't let it fool you. Florida State is coming to y'all coming to tally, and Florida State's finna put belt to ass to that Miami shit this week. Go Noles, baby. Tiny Hat CEO, Tiny Hat Gang. We out.
Shout out to my guy, KP, Tiny Hat Game, and it's always a pleasure. All right, we got a few more calls. We got to get up real quick. I got to get my dog Roll Noel in. Roll Noel. Talk to me. What you thinking? You muted.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm headed to church. I'm gonna pray for our. I'm gonna pray for zero, and I'm gonna pray for 10. You know, Tiny Hat pretty much said it all, and I gotta address some of the comments down there
Bro, like
in the listeners,
why the
cause
fuck
like
am I seeing 63-3 in my fuck in these damn comments? Why am I seeing shit like that in the comments? What, bro,
that's a person that's out of ammo. Like,
why am I seeing 63-3? Like,
bro,
keep going.
that was
Go
two
ahead.
years ago. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like the people that's criticizing Tony White and Gus Malzahn, you embarrassing yourself in front of the country. 38 points is enough, should be enough to beat anybody.
I agree.
And
Absolutely.
I mean, the position coaches on defense, they put the players in position to make plays. The players gotta want to make the positions, but our players want to go out there like they playing PlayStation, like they playing PS5. Instead of wrapping up and tackling and handling business, they want to try to hit stick everybody. They going for a big hit, want to make a big play. Just take care of business. Do the simple things. Do what you got to do, man.
That's the thing I don't get with these new kids. You can still be violent and physical as hell by wrapping up, coming full speed and wrapping the motherfucker up with the hit. You can still do that. Like if Earl would have wrapped up on that play, that should have been a hell of a play because he came down physical as hell and filled the hole perfectly. You just got to wrap up.
Yeah, man. He thought he like chipped the dude. Man, that dude say, man, get your little out my way. Like, I mean, like it's our fans that get me, and they fall for the trolls of of the rivals or whatever. Like, man, you listening at people that just don't like us. Like, what? And another thing I don't get. So when we win, it's Gus, and when we lose, it's Mike Norvell.
But,
Like,
but you know them people, them the same fans within the fan base that don't like Mike in the first place, but cheer for the wins and that type of deal. They want it one way. Simple as that. They pretty much want it one way. And I mean, you ain't gotta like Mike or this, that, and third, but just be consistent is all I ask.
yeah. So
I'm a big component of being consistent.
in the win in the wins, but all the credit in the losses. Now they talking about Tony White can't coach. I mean, like it's crazy. I don't get it. But uh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. We hear you. You still there? Road Noel in the vehicle, moving a little bit so the connection kind of going in and out. We go rapid here as far as the call in. We got still, still there? All right. Yeah, we'll wrap it up as far as the call. And before we get up out of it, guys, I want to bring this to your attention again, man. Carson Beck threw for 600 yards for his FSU. Bro, who was Black Raider still? Like, bro, where you getting your stats from, cuz? You talking crazy, man. Anyways, um, before we get up out of here again, like I stated, man, you guys got an opportunity. We got 4 tickets that's being given away for the Miami game. If you guys go over to the Chief Brief, we're going to have the link in the comment. We have the Chief Brief. If you guys subscribe to their if you subscribe to their my apologies, if you subscribe to their website, 2 lucky subscribers will get free tickets to the Miami game, and also we have 2 DoakTalk. They're having a $50 raffle for the chance to win 2 tickets for $800 value. If you guys go ahead and you can enter the pool multiple times as you want to, within the 50 spots, there's a few left. But for $50, you guys can get tickets to the Miami game, a pair of tickets for $800 value. If you use the promo code DoakTalk at checkout, use the promo code DoakTalk at checkout, you'll get $5 off of the 50. So for $45, if you use the promo code DoakTalk, get your chance, give yourself a chance at 2 tickets for the Miami game at $800 value. Really good seats. It's going to be a star-studded event, night game in Doak Campbell Stadium. Go ahead and try to win those tickets for $45. If you use the promo code DoakTalk, you can have your chance at 2 premium seats for the Miami game. Make sure you guys hit this like button and subscribe to the channel. We will be going live again. I want to say Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. for the Miami game preview. Got my dog Larry on Being from 26 Degrees, one of my close friends. He's going to be coming out to hang with us from the Miami side of things, just to get some perspective on Miami as we get ready to put belt to ass on the Hurricanes in Doak Campbell Stadium. So make sure you guys hit this like button, subscribe to the channel. Again, $50, well, $45 if you use the promo code DoakTalk. You can win 2 tickets to the Miami game. Like and subscribe. Go Noles.